So it's Tatoya again, and I wanted to come to you today to show you what brushes that I use and what type of brushes you can purchase if you are a beginner in makeup. So I'm gonna have some drugstore brushes, like brushes you can find in Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, stuff like that, and then some higher end brushes. So I'll start with the Real Techniques brushes. These brushes were actually made by um, YouTubers. So I think their name is Sam and Nick. And so mine are dirty because I used them today. But this was the first brush I got from Real Techniques. I think this is called the buffer brush, but I use it for a foundation. You can use any brush for whatever you want to use it for. Mine is kind of toe up from washing it and stuff. But just because the brush says one thing, it doesn't mean that you have to use it for that. So I like to use this for a foundation if I'm going for a full coverage look because this brush is really dense. So it'll pack on your foundation. It'll make it look full coverage. And if you have like a medium foundation, you can build it up with this brush as well. Now these three, they're Real Technique brushes, but I got them in a set from Walmart. I think the set was $13.98 for these three brushes. This is the contour brush. This is the buffing brush, and this is the pointed foundation brush. Now, I use this brush for um, setting setting my under eye area. So I just use it to set my concealer. I use two different powders, and so I'll set under my eyes with this brush. This brush I used one day I used it for foundation, and today I used it for powder. After I washed it, of course, I used it to set my entire face with my MAC face powder, and it works really good. These brushes they work really good. The pointed foundation brush I use this to place my concealer under my eyes and in the center of my face. So anything flat you can use for your foundation or for your concealer. Now you can try and blend out your concealer with a pointed brush, but or with a flat brush like this. But I use a beauty blender. I'll just place it with this. Sometimes I'll pat it out as much as I can with this because it's kind of sometimes it's kind of hard unless you have been working as a makeup artist for a long time and know how to do it. But I'll just place it with this, um, and then I'll go in with a beauty blender to actually blend it out. I'll show those to my beauty blenders. Uh-oh. Um, this is the baby beauty blender, this really small one. I like to use it to get like in the corner of my eyes for my concealer. Um, you just wet these with water or Fix Plus, and they expand. You don't use them dry, and they work really good at blending your foundation and your primers out. I don't know where my big one is. I don't know where it is, but it's a big pink one. If you just Google it, you'll see it, or I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube. But I use that to blend out my foundation sometimes, but I definitely use it to blend out my concealer. And I also wanted to show some other brushes that are like my brushes I always use no matter what is going on, what day it is, or whatever. These are my MAC brushes, some of my MAC brushes. This is a MAC 195 brush. This is a concealer brush, and I do use it for concealer for under my brows, and sometimes I'll place this on under my eye for my concealer if I'm not using a Real Techniques brush. And this is a stiff brush. With concealers, you want to use a stiff brush because that'll place your concealer very good. And your under eye concealer, you don't want it to be runny you want it to stay in place. So you want to use a stiff brush if you're using concealer. Now, for my blending brush, I usually use this for my transition color. This is a MAC 224 brush, and as you can see, it's a dome-shaped fluffy brush. You want to use a fluffy brush when you're blending out your concealer because you want it to blend out. You don't want it to just stay in one area. So you want to use a fluffy brush. It doesn't have to be really dense, but it just needs to be fluffy so it'll blend it out. I saw one lady in MAC, she used this brush to actually blend out concealer as well. So you can use your brush for anything, but I use this for transition. And this is a MAC 224 brush. This is my Sedona Lace EB09 brush. This came in a set. It was like an 11-piece set that I got a couple years ago. And I always, always, always use this brush when I'm doing my eyeshadow. I'll use the 224 brush first, and then I'll go in um, when I'm putting down my darker color for my crease. I'll use this brush. This works really good. It's really dense, so it'll really pack on the color for you. With the other brush, it'll really spread it out. But this brush will really pack on the color for you, and it blends it very, very well. I love this brush. And this is my e.l.f. stipple brush. I have two of these because they are the bomb. So before I got my beauty blender, I would use one for my under eye concealer. Um, Luster Lux. She wasn't using this one, but she was using the one by MAC. But she did have this one, and she said that she liked it just as much as the one from MAC. So I had one for concealer, and then I had one for my blush. Now, when you're putting on your blush, you want to use a stippling brush. In my opinion, you want to use a stippling brush because you ever seen somebody who has on blush and you can just tell they have on blush because they have on so much and it's all in one area. This brush will take care of that for you. You will see the color on your face, but it'll be like a blush, like just a flush of color on your face. So you just take it, you know it's nothing on here now, but you just take it and you blend it in. I also have a bigger one. These are from these are from Makeup Academy. I got these are dirty too because I've used my brushes. These are from CVS, and I think they're only at CVS. But this is a large stippling brush. Now you can use this for your blush, or you can use this for your all over face powder. Some people say not to use it for all over face powder, but that's what I do. I use it for all over face powder or my blush. And this is um, it says a BBCC cream brush, but I've been using it for foundation. I like it. It sheds a little bit, so sometimes I'm gonna have to go back and like get the hairs off of my face from this brush. But overall, I like it. So Fresh Diamond on YouTube, she has a Sephora brush that's kind of like this. I was looking for a dupe for that because I didn't have Sephora money at that time. So I got this. I think it was $11.99 from CVS, and I'm sure the one at Sephora was like either 30 something dollars or 40 something dollars. Um, Another thing at Target, Sonia Kashuk, she always has a line of brushes. Like you can buy like an 11-piece, 7-piece set. It'll have face brushes and eye brushes in it, or if you want just eye brushes or just face brushes. But I have some of her brushes as well. I have I think it was the 11-piece or the 13th-piece set. I can't remember, but it was for her anniversary, and these are some of the brushes from there. I'm not gonna hold up all of them, but you have your flat brush, like I said, you can use for your concealer or your foundation. You have your fluffy brush for your powder, your face powder. You have a dome-shaped brush for your what is that? Your dome eyeshadow brush for your eyeshadow, obviously. You always also want to have a spoolie. This is from Sedona Lace, and this, see, it's all tore up. This came in a set, in the 11-piece set I was telling you about. You always want to have a spoolie for, your eyebrows before you do your eyebrows. You always want to have a spoolie. Also, you can look on eBay. I got a set of 4 of these brushes and some of their eyeshadow brushes. These are examples of kabuki brushes. I got a 4-piece set of these for like $11. They work really good. I use this one for foundation, or either sometimes I use it for under eye, or I'll use this one for this pointed brush. I would use this for concealer because it can really get, in there. I would recommend, if you're a beginner, to use like a kabuki brush, because um, they really blend out your makeup really good. So I also want to talk about, first let me talk about this fan brush. These are some face brushes that I always use. This is the Sedona Lace FB03 brush. This is what I use. I use this for powder. Sometimes I use it for my highlight. Don't mind my hair, it's not done. Sometimes I use it for my highlight on my cheeks, but you want to use like a big fluffy brush for your powders and for your cheeks, your highlight on your cheeks, depending on what kind of highlight you're going for. This is my Sonia Kashuk brush. It doesn't have a name or number on it, but this is what I use for my contour. It'll really give you a harsh line. It'll really place that contour color down for you. And then I go in with this brush from Sedona Lace, FB05. It's a dome shaped brush. It's kind of like the MAC 224 brush I was showing you, the eyeshadow brush, but it's just bigger. And so you can really go in and blend it out. And this blends out powder and cream products. I like to use it for my cream contour. Cream contour, or sometimes my concealer, I'll blend it out with this, and it blends out perfectly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, I think that is about it. So, again, you want to find a set of brushes. You can go to Target or Walmart, and you can get a set of face brushes, a set of eyeshadow brushes. You can get beauty blenders. You can get everything all in one set for like, I would say like $25 if you're getting like an 11-piece set. But if you're getting like the Real Techniques brush set, that's 3 brushes for like $14 that you can use for a lot of different things. You can use them for whatever you want them to. So I would recommend, if you're just starting out, I would recommend the Real Techniques brushes, because you can just go to Walmart. You can go to Ulta to get them. You don't have to order them and wait on them. And they work really good. A lot of people use those brushes over their more expensive brushes. So they do work really good. When you're doing your eyeshadow, you always want to have a fluffy brush for your transition color, and you always want to have a denser blending brush for your crease area, and that usually will really blend your crease color out. Also, I forgot to show the brush I use for packing my eye color on. Here it is. This is what I use to pack on my eyelid color. You want to get a flat, dense brush. Flat, dense brush to pack on your eyeshadow. It'll really work. This is a Sedona Lace EB11, but you can find a flat, small brush in any set, like I said. I'm going to have another video up about new brushes that I bought. These are all old. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.